Sits in an unusual place. Water flows on both sides. Two directions, two paths, two possibilities. And right in the middle stands something that does not move. At first, the image feels architectural. Old brick, narrow canals, bridges connecting one side to another. It feels like the kind of place people photograph because it looks timeless. But the longer I look at it, the less I notice the city. I notice the position. The building stands between. Not fully part of the left side, not fully part of the right. Just there, in the middle. That feeling seems familiar. Many people spend large parts of life standing between things, between decisions, between identities, between versions of themselves, not where they started, not where they want to be, just somewhere in the middle. The building almost feels trapped, not physically, emotionally. It cannot move left. It cannot move right. The water continues around it. The city continues around it. But it remains exactly where it is. Sometimes people experience life that way. Everything changes around them. Friends change, jobs change, cities change, relationships change. Yet internally, they feel stuck in the same place, watching movement without participating in it. The water matters. Water usually symbolizes movement. It travels. It adapts. It finds new routes. The building represents the opposite: stability, resistance, stillness. Neither is wrong. But the image creates tension between them. Movement and permanence, sharing the same space. Humans constantly balance those forces. Part of us wants adventure. Part of us wants safety. Part of us wants change. Part of us wants familiarity. The difficulty is that those desires often conflict. People want new experiences without uncertainty, growth without discomfort, movement without risk. But life rarely works that way. The canals split around the building. That detail feels important. The water does not stop when it encounters an obstacle. It adapts. It creates another route, then continues. Nature often solves problems differently than humans do. Humans tend to fight obstacles. Water flows around them. There may be a lesson in that. Not every challenge requires force. Some require flexibility. Some require patience. Some require a different direction entirely. The bridges in the background add another layer. Bridges exist because separation exists. Without distance, there is nothing to connect. People often dislike distance, emotional distance, physical distance, social distance. Yet distance creates meaning too. A bridge matters because two sides are separate. Connection becomes valuable because separation exists. The image quietly reminds me of that. Everything meaningful seems to exist between opposites: movement and stillness, distance and connection, change and permanence. The building sits directly inside that tension, and somehow remains standing. The age of the structure matters too. Old buildings feel different from new ones. They carry evidence, evidence that time passed, evidence that generations came and went, evidence that people worried about things that no longer matter. The building has likely watched thousands of lives move past it. People crossing bridges, boats moving through canals, conversations beginning and ending, entire lifetimes appearing and disappearing. Yet it remains. That perspective changes the image. Many things that feel permanent are temporary, and many things that feel temporary last far longer than expected. People rarely know which is which. That uncertainty shapes nearly every decision. Maybe that is why the building feels calm. It no longer appears concerned about outcomes. It simply exists where it exists. Humans often struggle with that idea. They constantly ask where they should be, what they should choose, what comes next. But sometimes, life places people between destinations for a reason. Not every moment is meant for arrival. Some moments are meant for observation. The building is not moving toward anything, and yet it remains meaningful. The image also changes depending on where you focus. Look at the building and the scene feels stable. Look at the water and the scene feels dynamic. Look at the bridges and the scene feels connected. The image itself never changes, only attention changes. Life works similarly. People often believe circumstances create meaning, but attention creates meaning too. What someone chooses to notice shapes the story they experience. The building can be seen as trapped or protected. The water can be seen as freedom or uncertainty. The same image supports multiple truths. That may be the most interesting thing about it. Nothing here feels dramatic. Nothing here demands attention. And yet the longer I look, the more it feels like a quiet reflection of life itself, a place between directions,